Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before we begin this video, don't forget to give it a like. It truly encourages us to keep sharing beneficial content, inshallah. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our future videos on faith, spirituality, and Islamic reminders. Barakallahu feekum. May Allah bless you and enjoy the video. Sometimes, in the middle of love, comfort, and connection, Allah allows two hearts to part ways, not to destroy them, but to prepare them. What many people see as a heartbreak or a painful ending is often a divine beginning in disguise. When Allah separates two people, it's not always because they weren't meant to be together. Sometimes, it's because they are meant to be, but not in the state they were in. There are layers of refinement that must take place, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, before a union can become what it was destined to be under Allah's mercy and wisdom. We often forget that love, even when it's sincere, can lose its way when it's not grounded in the remembrance of Allah. Two people may love each other deeply, but without the presence of Allah between them, love can become possessive, selfish, or weak. So sometimes, Allah allows a pause. He removes the person you once held close, not to break you, but to make you look upward, to remind you that true strength, healing, and fulfillment come from Him first, not from another human heart. This separation is not a punishment. It is a divine invitation to return to Allah, to re-examine yourself, to grow into the person who is ready, not only to receive love, but to honor it in the way that pleases your Creator. Painful moments often have the strongest lessons behind them. In the darkness of missing someone, in the silence that follows a goodbye, there is space for reflection. Allah gives you the opportunity to ask, who am I without this person? Did I place them above my devotion to Allah? Was our connection one of pure intentions, or did it begin to distract me from my purpose? Sometimes, we don't know how much we idolize someone until they are gone. And in that emptiness, in the void left behind, you find a deeper longing, not just for them, but for something higher, something eternal. That is when you begin to feel the pull back to your Rabb, your sustainer. And when you come back to Him, broken and sincere, He receives you with open arms. The Quran reminds us again and again that hardship is not the end, but the gateway to transformation. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Quran 94:6. The separation you thought would destroy you is actually a step on the path to becoming whole, not because of the other person, but because of Allah. And once you are whole in Him, once your heart rests in His remembrance, then, and only then, can He bring someone back into your life with purpose, clarity, and barakah. There are moments when the pain of separation feels unbearable, especially when there was no closure, no explanation. But Allah doesn't need to explain what He is orchestrating. He sees what you cannot. Maybe that person wasn't ready to love you in the way you deserved. Maybe you weren't ready to carry their heart with the tenderness it required. Allah knew the timing wasn't right, and so He intervened. Not to ruin the story, but to protect its integrity. He loves both of you too much to let something pure be corrupted by immaturity, ego, or spiritual distance. So He pauses the story and says, "Let me write this my way." During this pause, the most important work begins. You begin to heal, not just from the loss, but from everything that made you unready. You begin to clean your intentions, reflect on your flaws, rebuild your trust in Allah's plan. You stop seeking love from the world and start anchoring it in your deen. Your prayers become deeper, your patience becomes stronger, your heart, once scattered, finds its center again, in Him. And it is in that stillness that miracles begin to unfold. You start to realize that maybe the person who left wasn't lost forever. Maybe they too were on a journey. Maybe they too had to be broken before they could return as someone better, more aware, more faithful. Allah is the turner of hearts. He can guide anyone back, even to you, when the time is right. But the point is not to wait obsessively for their return. The point is to trust Allah enough to let go while believing that if it's written, they will come back. Not because you chased them, but because Allah sent them. That's the difference. And when you chase a person, you rely on your own strength. But when you trust Allah and focus on healing, He sends what is meant to find you, even if it has to cross oceans to reach you. That's the beauty of divine timing. It doesn't depend on effort alone, it depends on surrender. So when Allah says, this person is coming back, it's not a shallow hope. It's a powerful promise, but one that comes with preparation. He will not send them back until you are both ready to carry what was once broken with grace, wisdom, and a deeper sense of devotion. And when they return, it will not be like before. It will be better. Because this time, the foundation will be different. It won't just be love. It will be love rooted in taqwa, respect, and divine alignment. That is what makes the reunion worth the wait. Because when Allah brings two hearts back together, He brings them not to repeat the past, but to create something entirely new. Something that reflects His mercy, His plan, and His timing. Sometimes, Allah gently places signs along your path. Subtle, almost imperceptible at first, but undeniably consistent. These signs are not random. They are divine hints, clues that the story you thought was over may not be finished yet. When someone is meant to be in your life, Allah knows how to guide both hearts back together in ways that defy human logic. You may not even realize it at first, but Allah works in the unseen, orchestrating moments, feelings, and encounters that quietly tell you, this isn't over yet. One of the most powerful signs that Allah may be preparing a reconnection is the spiritual pull you feel toward this person long after separation. It's not about emotional dependence or romantic obsession. It's a peaceful, persistent feeling deep inside your heart that refuses to fade. Despite the silence, the distance, or even the pain of the past, your heart still makes sincere dua for them. Not because you're desperate, but because your soul feels something sacred that your mind cannot fully explain. You feel drawn not to the memory, but to the potential of what could be if Allah wills. You begin to sense that maybe your story with this person was paused, not ended. Another sign is the presence of dreams. While not all dreams hold meaning, there are times when Allah uses them as a form of guidance, comfort, or reassurance. You may find yourself dreaming of this person, not in a way that causes confusion, but in a way that brings peace. It's as if your soul is being reminded of a connection that still matters. These dreams may reflect situations of healing, reunion, or shared worship. They leave you waking up with a calm heart, not a restless one. That calmness is a sign. Allah does not bring peace to your heart over someone who is harmful to your soul. So if the dreams come with light, not darkness, if they awaken a desire to become better, not bitter, then perhaps, just perhaps, they are more than dreams. You may also notice that reminders of this person appear at unexpected times. A specific verse from the Quran, a hadith, or a quote about love, patience, or divine timing suddenly resonates deeply with you, and it feels connected to your situation. You hear someone mention their name in passing, or a place you once visited together crosses your path. Not in a way that reopens wounds, but in a way that whispers healing. These are not coincidences. These are Allah's subtle ways of saying, don't forget, I'm still writing this story. Another profound sign is that despite everything that happened, despite the hurt, the confusion, the silence, your heart has not turned bitter. You still make dua for them. You still wish them well. You still hope that Allah brings them peace and guidance, whether or not they return to you. That level of emotional maturity and spiritual clarity is not something you can fake. It's something Allah plants in the heart when He is preparing you for something greater. If your heart remains soft, not stubborn, this could be a reflection of divine preparation. A hard heart repels blessings, but a soft heart, one that surrenders to Allah's will, becomes a vessel ready to receive. Sometimes, the sign is not in your heart, but in your circumstances. Out of nowhere, you may hear that the person you were once close to is changing. They're praying now. They're seeking knowledge. They're apologizing to people they've wronged. You didn't ask for these updates. They came to you. That's not by accident. Allah is letting you see that He is working on both of you, even while you're apart. Maybe the version of them you once loved was incomplete. Maybe the version of you they once knew wasn't ready. But now, change is happening. And where there is sincere change, there is hope for a better reunion. One of the most overlooked signs is the way Allah changes your own heart toward the situation. Where there used to be anxiety, there's now trust. Where there used to be anger, there's now understanding. You stop trying to control the outcome. You no longer beg for answers. Instead, you submit. You begin to pray, not just for the person, but for what is best. You say, Ya Allah, if this person is good for my dunya and akhirah, bring them back. If not, remove them from my heart completely. That level of surrender is a sign that you are ready. Ready to receive whatever Allah has written for you, even if it doesn't match your initial expectations. When both hearts are guided by Allah, He reconnects them in a way that's pure, sincere, and filled with barakah. He may place both of you in the same place at the same time unexpectedly. A message might come out of nowhere. A chance encounter, a mutual friend reaching out, or a random event might reopen a path that was once closed. These moments feel surreal, not forced, not manipulated, but effortless. That's how you know Allah's hand is at work. But above all, one of the clearest signs is the unshakable peace that comes with letting go and still having hope. You're not anxious, you're not rushing, and you're not despairing. You're simply trusting Allah's plan, and in doing so, your heart rests. That kind of peace does not come from the world. It comes from knowing that your affairs are in the hands of the most merciful. So if you're noticing these signs, if your heart feels a quiet whisper of hope, if reminders come softly into your life, if your soul feels the warmth of a potential reconnection, don't ignore it. Don't obsess over it either. Simply carry it in your dua. Say, Ya Allah, if you are bringing this person back, let it be with your blessing and guidance. And if not, replace this longing with something even better. Allah is the one who connects hearts. And when He sends someone back, it is not out of nostalgia. It is out of divine purpose. Trust His timing. Watch for the signs. And keep your heart open to His mercy. In the season of waiting, your heart may ache with uncertainty, and your mind might replay every moment, every word, wondering what you could have done differently. But this period isn't meant for you to dwell in the past. It's meant for you to turn inward and upward. When Allah separates you from someone, It's not just about distance from that person, it's about closeness to him. What you do in this waiting period matters deeply. It's not wasted time, it's divine preparation. First and foremost, focus on strengthening your connection with Allah. Return to prayer with sincerity. Make your sujood a place of healing. Let your tears fall before the one who understands your heart better than you do. Allah says in the Quran, "Call upon me, I will respond to you." Surah Ghafir 40:60. This is your moment to call upon Him, not just for the person you miss, but for wisdom, for patience, for the strength to become better, whether or not they return. There is something transformative about praying in silence, in the quiet of the night, when no one sees your pain but Allah. That's where the deepest healing begins. Next, engage in self-reflection. Ask yourself hard but necessary questions. Was I truly ready for a relationship built on faith and mercy? Did I rely too much on that person for emotional validation? What patterns do I need to break to be a better partner if Allah brings this person back, or someone else entirely? Waiting becomes powerful when it's intentional. When you use this time to work on your flaws, increase your knowledge, improve your character, and purify your intentions, you're not just preparing for another person, you're preparing for the future Allah has written for you. One of the most powerful things you can do in this period is make dua, not just for reunion, but for what is best. It's a sign of deep faith to say, Ya Allah, if this person is good for my dunya and akhirah, return them to me. And if not, remove them from my heart and grant me peace. That kind of submission isn't weakness, it's strength. It shows you trust the one who sees the unseen, who knows what you need better than you do. Also, resist the urge to chase or force outcomes. Don't try to manipulate circumstances to bring the person back. What Allah has written for you will reach you without you needing to lower your dignity. There's a difference between making dua and trying to control destiny. The first invites Allah in. The second pushes Him aside. Finally, be gentle with yourself. Healing is not a straight line. Some days you'll feel strong, other days you'll feel broken. That's okay. Keep turning to Allah. Keep showing up in your prayers. Keep trusting that every moment spent waiting with faith is building something beautiful inside of you. Because if Allah is truly preparing you for someone's return, He's first preparing your soul to receive them with grace, maturity, and deep inner peace. When Allah brings two hearts back together, it is never without purpose. It is not simply for the comfort of being reunited or to satisfy the emotions that longed for closure. It is for something greater, something meaningful in both this life and the next. Divine reunions are intentional. They come after purification, after growth, after a period of refinement that only Allah could design. So when someone returns into your life after a separation, you must understand that you're not picking up where you left off. You're stepping into a new chapter, one that carries weight, responsibility, and sacred opportunity. Often, the first time people come together, it's out of emotion, timing, or even naivety. But when Allah reintroduces someone into your life, it is after He has allowed both of you to learn, to transform, to let go of ego, and to remember who is truly in control. The kind of reunion is not fueled by emotional dependence, it's fueled by spiritual maturity. You now see love not just as companionship, but as amana, a trust. A sacred trust that must be carried with kindness, with respect, and with taqwa. The love that returns after separation is not meant to look like what it was. It is meant to look like what Allah always wanted it to become. In this new beginning, You realize that love alone is not enough. What matters is how that love is managed, protected, and directed. You are no longer seeking to be loved in the way the world teaches, but in the way the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught, with mercy, with patience, with service to each other for the sake of Allah. Your relationship becomes a means of drawing closer to Him, not a distraction from Him. This is the barakah of a divinely orchestrated reunion. And you must be ready to honor that. If Allah has brought this person back into your life, it means He trusts you with their heart. He trusts you to do better than before, to speak gently, to forgive quicker, to listen more deeply, and to love with intention. You're not being given a second chance just for your emotional relief. You're being given a new opportunity to build something that pleases your Lord. That is a powerful responsibility, and it must be taken seriously. You are now partners in growth, not just romance. You support one another in prayer, you remind each other of Allah when one forgets, and you become a shield for one another against the whispers of shaitan. Your home, your conversations, your goals, everything begins to align with the mindset that this time, it's not just about love. It's about purpose. It's about worship. And if you walk this path together sincerely, then what you build together becomes more than a relationship. It becomes an act of worship, a source of tranquility, a reason for angels to surround you and for blessings to rain upon your life. Because when Allah writes a reunion, He does not simply restore what was lost. He replaces it with something stronger, purer, and far more beautiful than what you ever imagined. This is the kind of love that lasts, the kind that grows with you, the kind that reminds you that Allah was always the author of your story. May Allah bless you and guide you to a life filled with mercy, love, and tranquility.